Hey, welcome back everybody. Today we are talking about Starfield, the recent leaks. Avoiding spoilers, is the game any good? What are impressions that we can trust? How to play early and when exactly we can get our dirty little meat paws on this. And there's even hope for the older systems, and yes, even the PlayStation, PS4 and PS5. Hope is on the horizon and we'll get into it. So let's talk about impressions. There are people out there playing this right now. Yeah, that's crazy. So let me pause, rewind for a second. The actual release date for this starts 9/6/23 for the standard version. There is an early access, which starts in September 1st. And there are some variations as far as when the timing is for this and what version. We'll go through that later on in the video. But I wanted to hit the impressions first. So as I said, people are playing this right now, but they are on a review embargo, so they're not allowed to talk about it until August 31st at noon. Now, there's been a mix of chatter on the internet, and you have to be careful because some of it's fake, some of it's real, some of it's been taken down. There's been some spoilers, so really be cautious. I won't be giving up any spoilers here on the channel. We'll be doing a playthrough the day of, but we'll talk about that more later. But we're going to do the best we can to protect all of that stuff. But here's the thing. So since there is a review embargo, that means they cannot talk about it because they are NDA'd, non-disclosure agreement. So there are ways this is kind of snuck through. There's been like secondhand information passed through without saying specifics. And there's even the Xbox rating system. So if you have a verified copy of the game, you're able to put a review in that way. Not like a full review necessarily. Now, they may have since disabled that, but the few reviews that did come in already were ranked pretty high. And so we're going to have to really wait a little bit so we can really, the people can experience the game. Because think about it. Like, they could just have the, not the buyer, what's the opposite of buyer's remorse? So, like, you're excited for the game, but after, like, a week, are you still excited about it? That's the real question. But from what I can gather, to answer the question, is it any good? Some legit impressions that I can gather without spoilers. You know, because some people are worried about, you know, the last game that they did, which was Fallout 76, and I get it. I was done dirty too. I pre-ordered that game, and that's one of the major reasons why I stopped pre-ordering games, and I took a huge risk on this game by pre-ordering it, because Fallout 76, when it came out, it was bad. It's good now, but it was bad. So, you know, we definitely don't want that scenario here, since there is no indication of multiplayer. But yeah, really, I think people want to know, is it any good without spoilers? I think that's a legitimate concern. So from the most legitimate sources that I could get, they all seem to be saying the same thing, which is very positive. So they're saying, the game is huge. Okay? That makes a ton of sense. There's a ton of planets. It says, like, and what they mean is there's a lot to do and a lot to take in at first, which makes a ton of sense. You know, again, big planets. It says once you get into it, it's really good. Not to say that the front end of it is bad. It just says that there's so many choices, and again, there's so much to take in, so many places and so many things to do. Some have said they're 20 hours deep and there's no bugs yet. Some people have said they're just getting into the campaign 15 hours. Now, as far as how much they're deviating from the standard path, I don't know. I mean, that's very much this type of game where, you know, like old Skyrim and stuff, there's a bunch of side quests. And I think, and they've even said this has that same DNA, which is very promising. So again, I don't think any of this is bad. The no bug thing is great. And again, you got to take a lot of this stuff with a grain of salt because we had to get this very secondhand because of the embargo. But, you know, it's great to see that everybody's talking about the same points. They're like, man, it's good. And they're like, once you start getting into that storyline, it really starts to suck you in. And like, I see a lot of choices and the map being huge and so many options as a good thing because that's the type of game that we want, is it not? So again, the internet chatter is saying it's a lot like Skyrim and Space. And yes, I think that's kind of a negative Nancy approach a little bit, but you know, I think the intent of that is maybe a little bit more negative, but I think it's a good thing. Skyrim is a great game. And if you can do Skyrim and Space with all of this extra stuff, isn't that what everybody wants? Isn't that what we're all excited for? Isn't that what we're signed up for? Yeah, I mean, yes. Yes, these are all good things. So we will be doing a launch day party for this, for the early access for release. And that starts for me August 31st. So if you guys want to come by and check out the live stream, we can talk about stuff. Obviously, no spoilers there. But if you want to stop by and see if it's any good, to see what our experience is while we're playing it, we'll definitely let you know what it's all about. So you do have to be on the lookout out there for fake reviews. And really, it's best to wait and avoid certain areas of the internet. And what do I mean by that? Well, Reddit and Twitter, or what is it called now? X. Honestly, I've had people even say that on their timeline, Twitter is like feeding them some crazy stuff. So obviously, it's easier, I think, to avoid the subreddits because it's more intentional. But like on your timeline on Twitter or X or whatever, yeah, that's a little nuts. So you may want to either avoid Twitter for a little bit or even put some keywords to mute. And again, I'm going to put things like ending, Starfield, stuff like that. If you guys have any good examples for keywords for muting, obviously with no spoilers in them, duh, you can put them down in the comments below. And again, we'll be covering all kinds of stuff here on the channel with no spoilers. The only time we'll actually be touching the game storyline is when we're playing through it, and that'll be during live streams. But yeah, come by for the early access date. Again, I said, what was it? September 31st, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the launch party. So let's talk about the different ways you can play this game, and then we'll talk about the dates and how you can download this, because it is a little confusing. So I think there's a lot of different options for us. And I mean everybody, right? Because I know PlayStation's a little upset that they can't play this. But here's the thing. I'm here to tell you that it's going to be good, even for PlayStation, because there's so many different ways we can actually get to this. So what are we talking about? So with the cloud gaming, with all of this, there's so many different options we can get to this. NVIDIA Now. What's the other one? Shadowplay? Shadowplay? Or is it Shadow? I think it's just Shadow. There's many different ways you can do that. So yes, you can even access things through your PlayStation 4, your Xbox One, your PlayStation 5, and mobile. I mean, we're looking at a setup right here, right? Like the backbone. That's one particular option for PlayStation, Android, or iOS device. By the way, if you're looking for any of these products, whether it be the game, the backbone, whatever, I have the products in the link there. It should be in the lower left-hand corner or below the video. Again, those are affiliate links that help support the channel. So if you're in the market for it, consider. It helps out. So yeah, the cloud gaming is definitely going to be a big thing. So what do I mean by all this? So I think we're going to have, I know we're going to have the Game Pass. We're going to have the crossplay. We're going to have PC Steam version, right? And with the Xbox Game Pass, it gives you a lot of options as far as like purchasing. But because we have things like xCloud and we have things like NVIDIA Now and what was the other one? Shadow. I think PlayStation's going to have access to those things. And even if you just have a mobile device, you'll still have access to these things. Because if this is a beefy boy, I know for a fact you can actually play NVIDIA Now stuff on the Xbox via the browser. So it definitely gives you a lot of options. So I would say don't fret. But here's the caveat, right? The biggest thing for this is you need to make sure you have a fast enough connection. So there's many different ways you can test this, but just keep that in mind. Don't invest in a bunch of stuff unless you know you've got the connection. And I mean, it's not just a high connection, it is a demanding connection where it's going to need it at very consistent rates. So just keep that in mind. We'll give you some more detail on that in the future, because I know a lot of people want to play this and they don't necessarily have an Xbox or even a computer, but they still want to play this. I get it. So yeah, very exciting. All right, so let's talk about the release dates and what this means and how to get it and what is early access and what isn't. So again, as we said, 9/6/23 is the standard release. Early access starts September 1st. So I'm trying to think of the best way to break this down. So if you're going to get early access, you do need to get, here, let me show you this one. So here's the standard version. Here's what's beautiful. Game Pass includes this game outright. So if you already have Game Pass, you're good to go September 6th. Now, if you're like, hey, that's cool and all, but I want the extra features and I want the premium, right? Because if you just buy the premium, it's $100, but this gives you the early access, right? The September 1st. But you're like, how do I do this if I already have Game Pass? I don't want to have to buy the game outright. Well, we have another option. They have an upgrade version for $34.99 USD that will give you the early access. So if you have the Game Pass, you just get this. So you're getting the game for like what, $35, and you're in. So I mean, that's sweet, right? So just look for Starfield Digital Premium Edition Upgrade. And again, all of these links for the game, the upgrade version, the premium versions should still be in those links with the backbone there. So if you're looking to make the purchase, again, it helps support the channel. It's definitely awesome. So yeah, how sick is that, right? And they even got the special edition controller and the headset. Again, links in the product description. And Also, so since we have all of these different times and stuff, so the premium, this is probably what most people are interested in. I know I was. So since we have the 5-day early access, you're like, when does this start, right? So here's the deal. They peeled this back and said they're going to release this UTC midnight, and then for everybody else, you have to convert from there. So I know that was like a huge nightmare for a lot of different people because you're like, hey, doesn't this start at my midnight? Well, no, it starts at a global midnight, and then you have to figure out your time zone from there. But I got your back. I got your back. Check it out. We've got the different release times. A little janky, but it should work. Starfield Early Access time, September 1st, 2023. So 9/1, September 1st, Friday, 12 a.m. UTC is when it starts. So if you're in London, 9/1 Friday, 1 a.m. London, BST time. If you're in the Americas, we have 8/31. So, yeah, August, baby. 8/31 Thursday, 8 p.m. EDT, also known as EST. 8/31 Thursday, 5 p.m. PDT, or PST, Pacific Standard Time. And then we have 8/31 Thursday, 7 p.m. CDT, or Central, I can't remember what that one is in the United States, but Central Time. And then 9/1 Friday, 2 a.m. CEST, or CET, which is European Time, Central European Time. So keep that in mind. So if you do get early access, and you can only get those through the premium or upgrading to premium, you should be good to go. And those are the times you're looking at. I know, right? It's a lot. It's a lot. So yeah, I am mad excited for this game. I can't believe, like, the more and more I peel back this game, the more and more excited I do get. And like, here's the other thing too. If for the early access, by the way, I forgot to add this. For the early access, you can start to download now. If you have Xbox Game Pass or just Game Pass on PC, Steam's preload times are in August 30th. So if you're watching this video and you've already got the Game Pass and you updated everything, you can start the preload right now. And I would strongly suggest you do it. And you're like, why is that, Jade? Because it's a beefy boy. I think the Steam version is like 135 gigs, and the base game is like 100 gigs. That's crazy, right? And then you've got this extra piece here that's like 16 gigs for the soundtracks and stuff, if you've got the premium edition. So, yeah, it's a big boy. So if you've got kind of a connection, it's going to take you a minute, you're definitely going to want to, if you're going to buy this, then you might want to start this early because it's a beefy boy. And also, a lot of people have been talking about this too. I did preload mine already. Believe me, I tried to load it up. You can't. But it does look like the version number is quite high. So I'm expecting a good level of polish, beyond good. So again, very excited for this game. The more I keep getting information on this game, the more excited I do get. The skills, the shipbuilding stuff, the exploration, the research, you name it. It feels so good. And I cannot wait to get in there because I love games that have depth like this. So again, if this is anything close to Skyrim and Space, I'm all about it. So hopefully we'll see you in the next live stream / video. Be sure to stop by if we're live, and we'll see you in the next one. Love you. Bye.